This is Jumpers with Zola.
Welcome to the show, my man.
Yeah. What's up? It's good to be here, man. Yeah.
We're talking to one of the youngest, most successful, most pushing, most hustling, most well-oiled, most speeding up black television execs in the country, or rather, I should say, in Africa.
Yeah, I think it is Africa.
I actually paid him to say that.
Thank
you very much, dog. Please for that. Yo. What a welcome. What an intro, man.
I want to charge you on that
I
one.
feel like a superstar right now.
Yes, you are, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Welcome to the show, Zotia.
Thank you. It's good to be here, man. It's good to be here.
Asibuyele move when this whole thing begins. Asibuyele move, Zotia. I'm going to sit. Asibuyele move because I want the young people to know, Guti, the ones who know you now. They need to know.
Where it all began.
Yo, back in the day.
Asibuyele move.
See that.
I'll watch you.
All right, okay. I'm feeling Hollywood, Epinville. Soweto, you understand?
Yeah.
So obviously, growing up in Soweto, there was a lot of role models around me, you know. Mm-hmm. So obviously, I've always wanted to be in the performance space, especially the acting. Acting was my biggest drive.
Yeah.
And then obviously, straight from high school, I was like, all right, this is what I want to do. Obviously, parents, they're like, yo, you want to go to plays, you want to go
cash.
So obviously, they didn't understand that, and obviously they were not for that.
Yeah,
you see.
Yeah.
But I think my mom supported me, and she was like, you know what, it's all good, man. If this is what you want to do, let's try it out for 2 years and let's see if you're happy.
Yeah.
And then I went studied.
So you had a flexible mom.
Yeah, no, she was not bad. I mean, she was my biggest fan. Yeah. I mean, she passed on. God bless her soul, but she was my biggest fan. She understood me, understood what I was doing, even if it was an extra. Like I was an extra on a role.
She's
the type of woman who was like, yo, now you understand? So that was my mom's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you see, she supported me, and then I went to AFTA, and when I was doing second year AFTA, I wrote it says Topla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, City Sesla back then.
Yeah.
With two of my friends, we pitched it to SABC. Mm-hmm. They said, okay, who's going to act? We said we were. Who's going to direct? We were. Who's going to produce? We'll do it. And they were like, it's not going to work. Get away. And obviously, fate and timing.
Yeah.
That's something that you can't buy timing,
Yeah.
And they came back and said, you know what? There's been a show that's been cancelled. It didn't do really, really well.
Yeah.
We need you guys to produce and go on air in 4 months.
Yo, 4 months?
Yeah, 4 months. That was the biggest. Yeah, insane.
Huh?
Yeah, insane. Everything. That was our biggest challenge. Obviously, now you're schooling this side, you don't understand the producing side.
Yeah.
So they had to give us like a crash course in just basic finance and how to produce a show.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were 19 at the time, and we did that. We took on the challenge, and when you are passionate, you spend everything. There's big money that you have to take care of. You have to produce a show, and obviously, you kind of spend all that money. I mean, you are young, and then after the third episode, it became the highest watched sitcom in the country. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it was just big. City Sesla was just one of those shows.
That's why I say we were stronger when we were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just one of those shows that hit the market, and it just. It was huge, and all of a sudden you're a star. All of a sudden there's eyes all over you. I mean, when there's eyes all over you, there's a psychological thing that happens to you, especially when you're young. So if you can't really take that or relate to that, it might throw you off. Because you feel like everyone's your friend, everyone loves you, everyone thinks you are amazing, but the world is not like that.
They're chasing something else.
You know what I'm saying? And then the minute you start realizing that no, this is actually fame. It's not really who I really am.
It's
then
work.
You think, it's
corporate.
Definitely. Yeah. Then you think the world is changing on you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You just realize, you know what? These are the reasons you kind of went into this thing. It wasn't really just like, the fame and the money and all of that.
Yeah.
Now there was a hard work that had to go into it. And then SABC shut down. We didn't have a plan. So we decided, you know what, let's start a band. Because then, there's a gap in the white market. So let's cross over to the white market,
Yeah.
you know, because obviously, I mean, you know, back in the day, I mean, the people who were doing that, there was not a lot of crossover type sounds.
Yeah, there
And
wasn't.
not to
it was
black
other.
kids with instrumental.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. So obviously for us it was like, you know, hey, let's just try and fill this gap, you know.
Yeah.
And we came up with you know, gang of instrumentals, and then got Rasta. I mean, I remember that's when we were started interacting a lot, coming to his studios, you know, all of that, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, we recorded, you know, we traveled all over, you know, we produced. I'd say one of our biggest songs was My Number One, and from there we just traveled all over, and not
it was
being
fresh,
stable.
my man. It was fresh.
Yeah. We enjoyed that time. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I was young at the time, you know, full of energy. So you could travel and all sorts
And you
of things.
could see all of
And
these
you
things.
could
You
see,
had no limits.
Now,
Yeah.
do you understand why I can't say no in my studio, even though I have to pay for electricity?
Definitely.
I can't say no.
We would come to his studio all the time, chill there.
And just
what's
crowd
happening.
him for no
but
reason.
I think the biggest thing that we got was the knowledge, because this man, he would speak to us. This is the industry. This is how the industry is like. This is where people are going. This is what's fake. This is what's not. You know, this is what's right. And we take in a lot of that, you know. So I appreciate that, by the way.
Thank you, my man.
And obviously, you know, I came across a lot of people like him, you know, who kind of, you know, guided me through the path.
Yeah.
Gave
And
you
then-
time.
Yeah. You know, gave me a lot of time. And then obviously, especially the first album, we were in partnership with, it was a relationship that was really, really bad. So we did need that type of
Yes, the
advice.
and yeah.
Especially people who were I mean, at the time, this man couldn't even walk anywhere. I don't know if you remember how huge.
I remember how huge Zola was. I remember
man
just seeing his shadow.
You understand?
already
It was like,
just-
yo.
Let's take a song break, my friend.
Only on Massive Metro.